Okay, so in this class we'll discuss and we'll see how enhancements works in SAP ABAP, like how why we use enhancements, what are all the available techniques, different available enhancement techniques in SAP ABAP. Okay, so what do you mean by enhancement? Can anyone tell me in general terms, what is the enhancement?
To change the code without disturbing
Not to change the code. Changing means there is some code and you are changing
it.
it, right?
Implement.
There is
Yes.
some code and you are changing that. You are disturbing, right?
Yes.
So what is enhancement? Enhancement means adding additional feature or additional code without disturbing the standard functionality. Okay? So whatever the standard code implemented by SAP, we are not going to disturb that. And in between, if we need some functionality, we are going to add that additional code. Okay? That's what enhancement, right? Enhancement, modification. Modification means changing the existing one, right? Changing the standard functionality or changing the existing functionality. Enhancement means so we are not disturbing anything and we are adding new features. Let's say you purchased a mobile, right? So
Like
your
the updates.
mobile back case, that protective glass, all these are enhancements or modifications.
Enhancement.
Enhancements, not modifications, because you are not disturbing any mobile's functionality, right? Let's say you purchased a mobile and you wanted to replace the RAM with some higher RAM or any different type of RAM. Is it enhancement or modification?
Modifications, sir.
It's a
Modify.
modification. You are changing the existing functionality. Okay. Okay, this is what enhancement. We are going to add additional features or additional options to the SAP applications without disturbing the standard functionalities. Now, what are we going to enhance in SAP? So, what are the different applications we are enhancing or we are going to apply enhancement techniques? Can you tell me a few possible enhancements? I'll start with tables. Standard tables with custom fields. Yeah, these are the few objects which we enhance in ABAP. So what are these objects? So we can enhance a standard table. Let's take Mara table. Mara is a SAP provided table, right? It's a standard table, right? So if you want to add, if you want custom fields for your business requirement, you can add the additional fields. I think we have already worked on append structure, right? So what is the option to enhance the standard table?
Append is
Append structure. Using append structure, we can add additional fields to the standard table. Okay, but there is a link. When we are going to enhance the standard table, what is the requirement to enhance the standard table? We just add few additional fields, custom fields without any requirement. There is a requirement when we enhance the standard T code screens. Let's me show you what is the transaction code for material maintenance. MM.
Zero.
Let's go to MM02. So let's say it is a material master data maintenance screen MM02 or MM01. You can also assume it as MM01. I'm entering the data. So customer wants one additional field here, somewhere here in some tab. Okay. He wants some additional fields to enter their additional business data. So whatever the fields available here is not supporting their business requirement. They want additional fields, right? For example, I've added these two additional fields, division and product allocation here in this tab, in this basic data one tab. I've added the fields. For the fields, there should be a backend table, right? Where we are going to save this fields data, or we are going to display selecting data from those tables and display here, right? When they ask to add new fields in the screen, what we need to do? First, we need to add those fields in the corresponding standard table, correct? Is that correct? If we need to add fields in the screen, we should have some corresponding database fields, right? When the user entered data in these fields, where we are going to save that data? There should be some table, right, with fields. Let's assume these two fields are related to Mara table or maybe material master table. So we are going to enhance these two fields to the Mara table, and we are going to map those database table fields with these screen fields. Okay, so whenever user enters data in these custom fields and click on save, we are going to write some logic to map the screens fields with the database tables, and that data will be automatically saved in that standard table along with all the standard fields. So SAP standard table enhancements with custom fields are linked with the SAP screen enhancements, standard transaction code screen enhancements. Correct? Is it right? So when you are doing enhancements to the SAP standard transaction codes with custom fields, you need to enhance the corresponding standard tables. Yes. And next thing, standard program enhancement. For every screen, there will be a program, right? For every screen, for every standard transaction code, there will be a program in background. To find the program name of this MM02, how can you find? How can you find the program name of this MM02?
system.
Yeah, one second. Let me open it. How can you find? Go to system status. Please observe carefully. So this is the transaction code MM02 and this is the standard program for the MM02. Now if you want to implement any custom logic for MM02 transaction code or custom validation for MM02 transaction code, where you want to write, where you need to write that in the standard program. Double click on the program, or you can also open this in SE38. So here you have a lot of include programs in between. So in between this logic, right, SAP has provided some areas or some hooks where we can implement our custom logic. Okay. For example, when we enter material number and click on enter, so SAP has provided some area to implement logic related to that action. So when we enter the data and click on save, so SAP has provided some hooks here in between this code to perform some validations, to perform some action before saving the data, right? In between all these include programs, they have provided some options to enhance our standard code. So we are not going to disturb any of the standard code. We are not going to disturb any of the standard code. For example, if you see this, there is a subroutine. If you want to add, so SAP has provided multiple enhancement options to enhance the standard code. This is a program, standard program. Okay, this is a standard program. So SAP has provided multiple options to enhance the standard programs. So what are the options? We'll see. How can you add custom code to the standard program without disturbing standard functionality? Similarly, function modules and class methods also, standard function modules and standard class methods also we can enhance. Okay, but for class methods we have a different approach and we have common features too. We'll see one by one. First, I'll show you about customer exits. What is a customer exit? Customer exit is one of the enhancement technique. Customer exit is one of the enhancement technique. Customer exit follows a procedural programming approach. Procedural programming approach. What do you mean by procedural programming approach? It uses function modules to enhance the standard code. Okay, how you are going to use those function modules is in between these programs, right? In a lot of these include programs, wherever required, SAP will provide one dummy function module, one empty function module, right? One empty function module that doesn't contain anything but a empty include program. So in that function module include program, you can write your own logic without disturb. So here you are not going to disturb any standard code, right? So what is a customer exit? Customer exit is one of the enhancement technique. It follows which approach? Procedural or object oriented?
Procedure.
Procedural programming approach. That means function modules. It uses a function modules to implement custom code or custom logic. Clear? SMOD to find the customer exit. SMOD is a transaction code to find the customer exit. CMOD is to create the project for customer exit. What is CMOD? Here we create the project and we activate the customer exit. We implement the code and we activate the customer exit. These two are transaction codes. Okay, clear? The important points are okay. So customer exit is one of the enhancement technique. Okay, customer exit is one of the enhancement technique. It follows procedural programming approach by using function modules. What are the transaction codes for customer exit? SMOD to find the customer exit for a standard transaction code. CMOD to create the project and activate the customer exit. I'll show you in detail. Okay. So for each customer exits, how many implementations possible? We have only single implementation, right? For example, you need a enhancement for MM01 transaction code and you are able to find one customer exit and you implemented it. So the other users cannot implement again, right? The other users cannot create another implementation for the same customer exit. So for customer exits, there is only single implementation, right? So these are function module based implementation. These function modules will be defined by SAP, SAP itself. We are not going to define. SAP has to provide these customer exits. So then we can make use of those customer exits to implement our custom logic. So why SAP has provided these customer exits or any enhancement technique? Because SAP is provided standard logic that is very close to all the business requirement. But not all the business requirements are same, right? It differs from customer to customer, client to client. There is a change. There is a different validation, different techniques they follow. It depends on the business, right? So SAP has provided these enhancement options so that customer can implement their own functionalities without disturbing the standard SAP functionality. Correct? So over the years, SAP has designed different enhancement techniques. So customer exit is one of the enhancement technique which is provided by SAP. Okay. So you can implement a customer exit if it is available. You cannot create a customer exit. You can only use it and implement it. Okay. You cannot define a customer exit in the standard program. That should be already available. That should be provided by SAP. Right. So SAP will choose some possible areas of enhancement in the standard program, right? SAP will choose some possible areas for enhancement. Okay. And they'll provide some option there to add the additional logic. Clear? So is everyone clear? Is everyone clear on the customer exits?
Yes, sir.
Now we'll see
Yes,
how
sir.
to find a customer exit. Now I am in MM02. Now I am in MM02 transaction code. Go to system. I mean some standard transaction code. You can take any standard transaction code. Now I have taken MM02. Okay. So go to system status. Here you can find the program name of this standard transaction code, that is SAPL MGMM, or you can also open this transaction code in SC38. Double click on this program name. Now we need to find the package. To find the customer exit, what we need? We need the package name of this program. How can you find the package name? Where can you see the program package name? In attributes, right? Go to program attributes. Here you can find what you can find. This is the package name, right? Now, what is the transaction code to find the customer exit?
SMOD.
SMOD. Go to SMOD, SMOD or SMOD. We don't know the customer exit. What we need to implement? We need to find it, right? If you know the customer exit name, enter the customer exit. So finding the customer exit, right? You can Google it. You can Google like you can enter some search term. I need to add this additional logic to MM02 transaction code, and you will get some help obviously. Okay, because there are many blocks and many other developers has already implemented that functionality in some project, right? They might provide some inputs. So this is the customer exit you need to use. That is another case, right? Now let's see how we can find the customer exit. We don't know the enhancement name. So usually, right, when you are working in the projects, usually functional consultants will provide the customer exit. So this is the suitable customer exit for the custom functionality. Okay. Or we need to find it. How to find it? Click on F4. Click on F4. Click on information system. These are not relevant to us. Okay. Click on information system. This one, information system. Enter the package name here. Enter the package name. MGA is the package name for standard program. And click on continue. So what are these? There are three exits available for MM02 transaction code. What are those? Check and enhancement, so number assignment, number display, industry and retail number display. There are, see, even you can find the functionality. Check and enhancements, number assignment, industry sector number assignment, industry and retail number display. Double click on one customer exit, display, go to components. What you can find here, what is this? What is this?
function module.
This
Function
is a
module.
function module, right? This is a function module. So double click on this function module, or you can also open this in SC37. What you can find here? Importing parameters, Mara table, MARC, MARD, MBEW. These are all importing parameters. And tables. So it is returning some output and changing. It is returning some output. It is accepting and returning some output. So observe these importing parameters. For the custom functionality, what is the input you have to provide? If the importing parameters are suitable for your input or matching with your input and it is returning the expected data, you can implement this customer exit by going through importing and exporting parameters. Double click on the include. It is a empty include. You cannot find any program here. Okay. If you double click on this, what it is saying? Program name ZX are reserved for. Now when you click on enter, I'm clicking enter. Now it will create that include. So inside this include, you need to implement your custom logic, whatever the custom logic you want. Okay, clear? And activate the include. I haven't implemented anything. Go back. So these are the inputs for your include program. These are the inputs for your include program. Whatever the importing parameters available in function modules are the inputs for your include program, and these are the outputs. You have to return data to these tables or changing parameters. Inside this include program, you have to implement that logic. Clear? So these function modules, right? These will be available in between the standard programs, standard logic. So let's assume I've created the custom logic and activated the include program. What is the next step? One more thing I'll show you. There are three enhancements, right? How you are going to choose your relevant enhancement, your relevant customer exit to implement the custom functionality. First thing is go by their function modules. Go by the function module importing and exporting parameters. Is it suitable for your requirement or not? The other thing is we'll be having some documentation. Here, where is in enhancement, environment, where is the documentation option? Maybe somewhere here. Hmm. Documentation is not available this for this customer exit. That is disabled. Okay. If documentation is available, you can go through the documentation. They'll provide exact functionality about this customer exit. Okay. This is how we are going to find the customer exit. And once you implemented the code inside the customer exit include program, what is the next step? We have to activate this customer exit. How can you activate the customer exit? For that, we need to create a project. What is the transaction code to create the project?
CMOD.
Go to CMOD, CMOD or CMOD. Now, here you have to create the project and assign this customer exit to the, how to create the project? Usually, we don't create multiple projects in the projects. When you are working in the projects, right? We are going to have only one or two projects and we are going to assign all those customer exits to that project. Okay. So here we'll create a project Z mm, MM. I'm creating a new project. Okay. Create the project in SMOD. I've created the project. Go to enhancement assignments. Click on save. So you have to save in a package. In enhancements, what you need to enter? This enhancement name. Okay. Click on save and go to components, enhancement components. Is it active or inactive? Observe this. It is in red color.
Inactive, sir.
It is inactive. We need to activate this. Go back. If you observe this, our enhancement is assigned to the project, right? Like that, you can assign multiple customer exits here for the same projects, for the same project. Okay. Now activate the project. Inactive include table. Okay. Let's check why it is inactive. Go to components, double click. I think we have activated the include program. Yes, include program is active. CIMMH1. There is some inactive include in the table. Looks like someone implemented some logic in MM01, sorry, that standard table. But usually when you click on active, it should active. Okay, the project should be active. Anyway, I'll show you in detail when we are working on a example. Okay, so now activate the project. So once it is active, your enhancement is live. Whenever you execute the MM02 transaction code, right? Whatever the custom logic you implemented in this customer exit will also execute along with your standard code. Okay, is it clear for everyone? If you need to disable somehow, you transported it to production, right? And they want this enhancement anymore. After some time, they don't want this custom logic. What we need to do? Go to the project in CMOD and deactivate it. Deactivate it. Once you deactivated this, is that custom functionality going to be executed along with your standard code? No. Once you deactivated the project, whatever the customer exits assigned to this project, all those custom functionalities are not going to be executed along with the standard code. They will be deactivated. Okay, clear?
Okay.
So in interviews also they'll ask you like once you implemented the customer exit and you transported it to production, so how can you disable that custom logic in production without writing code or without deleting anything from the development? How can you do that? In production system, go to CMOD and open the project and deactivate the project. Now, whatever the customer exits assigned to that project is not going to work. Okay, clear? Is everyone clear?
Yes.
So we have another option, that is user exits. User exits are also available, but where we are going to use these user exits are in VOFM routines for output determination, for output control, for SD pricing. In sales and distribution module, mostly we use user exits in the sales and distribution module for pricing and output control. Okay, I'll show you tomorrow how we use user exits and how to control. Not tomorrow, when we are working in the print programs, right? I'll show you about this user exits. Okay, so user exits are based on subroutines. User exits are based on subroutines, but customer exits based on function modules. Okay, clear? Sometimes user exits need developer access code, because sometimes by using user exits we are going to change or we are going to modify the standard logic. That's why it needs a special access key to implement the user exits. Okay, clear? Mostly in the projects, right, we are going to work with the customer exits and baddies and other things. Okay, user exits are very rare. Okay, not for, not everyone is going to get that requirement. So usually user exits, when we work in the SD module pricing routines, we implement the user exits and the other thing is output control. So print programs and things like in that scenario also we use user exits. I'll explain in detail with examples. Okay, is there anyone have any questions on customer exits? This is very important interview question. Okay, again they'll ask you the differences between customer exits and baddies, but for now, for today, concentrate on customer exits.